Outer Orange.
I don't want to look at V result. But what is one more? What is one more result? One more BSF. Just one more, right? Just one more. Or 5. Did have a weekend of a ton of results here. Like, there is just so much stuff going on, so we're gonna go and get through it. I will say some of the stuff was gonna look kind of like last week, so I might kind of tone down on what exactly we're gonna look like. I might just kind of run it a little bit quicker unless we see something really unique. WJP, this is the season 2. I know there was different versions of seasons of this, but regardless, I believe this one was streamed. This was over in Singapore. Find the links, I'll put them down below. If not, if someone else has the links, please feel free to put those below. That'd be really cool. Because I did get a chance to catch them. I can't remember where I saw them, but I saw bits and pieces of I saw the MLB stuff, which was really cool to watch. But basically, yeah, this is the results. Ballista got first place. The Musha King deck got second place, and we have Jet again Diva in third and fourth place. These are all very strong decks. Every single one of these decks performs really well. I don't know that much about the Musha King stuff, though I have been slowly doing more research on it in case it does officially. In case we do get it, I've been hearing rumors we're getting it. I don't know if the rumors are true or not. Like, I don't actually know if there's like a literal place that says, yeah, we're getting this. The other 3 make complete sense to me. So yeah, this is honestly a pretty good snapshot of the meta. Honestly, a lot of this is set 10 stuff and prior. So not too much has changed from just seeing this, but we'll have to see. There's always more. And I think I forgot to mention this, but this is Fuzzy's Twitter. So thank you, Fuzzy, as always, for sharing these. Then we had the Raigeki WGCS thingamabopper happen. This is the premium team event with history collection available. I'm not too sure what this is, like in terms of like where this came from, but this is basically a history collection with in premium, and maybe it's like a more like I don't know what this is, but whatever it is, it's kind of cool. So here we have, this is like the first snapshot, I guess, you can give yourself of sort of what history collection might start looking like. Of course, people are experimenting. There's still a lot of toss up. This is definitely not like, yes, this is what the top decks are going to look like. There's probably gonna be so much more in-depth analysis past this point, and there's probably gonna be even a lot of decks that people haven't even tried or experimented too far yet, or haven't tested deep enough as the format just started. But basically, we have first place, which is Susano, Chaos, Link Joker, and then Nubatama. I think that's Nubatama. If that's Nubatama, that's very accurate because I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about Nubatama. And then second place, we got DP, Gwendios, and Harry. I think that makes sense too, because I think there's like a marker removal thing or some kind of special combo you can do now in Link Joker. So Link Joker being like higher up actually makes sense. And then third place, we have Night Rose, Nubatama, and NLK, which again, you'll notice Nubatama's on the list. It's actually pretty good, so something to kind of keep in mind. And then fourth place, we have Jet, Granblue Beatrice, and I think that's Nova Grappler there as the third option. Sorry, I'm not too familiar with some of the boss units that these are being shown here, but yeah, this makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to look through the deck logs, so I think it's gonna be a little bit hard to kind of differentiate them all, but Granblue is gonna be good regardless. I kind of already expected that. DP, I'm not too sure about. I assume it's gonna be pretty good because you just get a bunch of force markers early, so you can kind of accelerate a little bit faster. I think that's also very versatile. Plus, activating GP and then going straight into maybe Grand Gallop or something is probably the way. And then we're seeing Jet here. That is no surprise. Old Jet, new Jet, doesn't really matter. The deck's still gonna be kind of strong with the Maidens package, by the way. So that deck should still be pretty relevant, unfortunately. For some people that may be thinking that Jet's gonna die, I don't think it's gonna die. I'm not 100%. Like I said, I'm just dipping my toes right now into the premium history collection stuff. I'm just now kind of starting to understand sort of where the meta is headed. But to be honest with you, I'm still at like the 2%, 3%, 5% mark. There's still so much I don't know. Hong Kong's events, so kind of similar. We got Ballista, and we got Gandiva, and then Ibisu in third and fourth place. So there's that. So there's nothing too unusual there. Now we're going into the BSF, which is the global side of things. So here we have London. So this was what London looks like, and this is premium. And yeah, this is basically, this is pretty accurate. Yeah, there's nothing here that's like really that unusual. We got the usual stuff. Ride down decks, DP coming through here and there, which by the way, Gurgitsan is actually in here. Gurgitsan is playing Maidens. He's in first place, so congrats to Gurgitsan. So it's actually like a really close friend of mine, so seeing him get first place is actually pretty crazy. I don't remember the last time he had a top that was like official. It might have been BRO. I don't remember precisely, sorry, but seeing him get first place with the team is actually pretty cool. And then second place, we have DP. We got DP, Jewel Knights, and Thavas, all very strong decks. Third place is Maidens, Narukami Stuff, and Bugs, all very good decks. And in fourth place, we have Jet, Jet Maidens again, Reindeer, and Bugs again. Again, another very good style. Honestly, no, there's no weird stuff in here. DP is like one of those decks where it's like it's like slept on, but it's good, but it's like kind of slept on, but it's been performing really well. I feel like not enough people talk about DP recently. DP has a really good matchup into Narukami. DP also has a really good matchup into decks that just can't deal with like perfect guarding. Basically a good example is like basically most of the decks on this list, to be honest with you, with the exception of Maidens. But yeah, if you're playing Grand Blue, you have no issue facing DP, but other decks don't have as good G guards as much as like Grand Blue does. So once your G guards start lacking, like DP just gets stronger because DP has like insanely high numbers, and usually it's like 3 crit or die type of situations. The DP player really plays for control. They'll actually deny you damage a lot. Like they'll like be blasting you for 5 or you're not taking damage. Basically it's like PG or death a lot of times, so they'll like push you to 2-3 damage, and they're like, okay, they ride up to this guy and go, okay, can you want to take 3 damage now? You want PG this and be stuck with the counterblast you have? And you know, if you really play smart, there's like some little kind of like some early stuff you can kind of play into pretty well, and then you can just kind of stall out for the GB2 GB3 stuff to then go into Grand Gallop and kind of just win there. Go over to V Premium. God, V Premium. Oh my god, I'm not gonna lie, I'm seeing different decks, which thank god. It's just something different. I'm tired of looking at Luar, Thavas, Poets, Anj. I'm not gonna lie, I'm so tired of, you know, just all the usual, the Glendioses, man, I don't know, maybe it's just this week or something. I'm tired of V. I don't even want to play it, and I don't think I've ever said that. I don't think I've ever said I don't want to play V, but I actually legitimately don't want to play V. But maybe that'll change. Maybe it's just right now. But anyway, so first place we had Tyrion, Graphia, and we have Poets. Pretty wild top 3, not gonna lie. I always value first place as like a very strong placing when it comes to BSF versus second, third, fourth, and so on. It's not that I value the tops any less. It's just that I value the position a little bit higher because it's literally the champion of the circuit, right? So because of that, I usually value the decks in that slot a little bit higher. I don't usually talk about this, but it is something I do. A lot of people are like, oh, BSF results don't matter. It's a team-based format. Personally, I think they do matter, but I think first and second matter like the most, if that makes sense. So I think that's where you should be looking harder. Aside from the Poets, these two are very underground decks. Tyrion does have like a very solid shield looping thing it could do, and that could randomly blast you for like a really high damage. Probably what they were trying to go for here. The Graphia like has its moments where like if you don't know how to play into it, it can be very disgusting to deal with. So if you don't know the matchup very well, it can get kind of ugly. So just something to keep in mind. It's not like the strongest deck ever, but I will say if you don't have the knowledge for it, it can be a little tough. Fenrir, Luar, Thavas, and then we have Astra Poets, Overlord, Thavas, and then we have Glendios, Battle Sisters, Anj, all just the normal stuff, you know. Overlord might be a little bit more underground, but honestly it's just a restanding Vanguard deck. There's nothing too crazy in there in terms of like how it performs. So it's just a restanding Vanguard deck. You hit your crits, you win game, you know. It's like that kind of stuff. The Glendios is obviously just to kind of deal with Luard and all that kind of stuff, and then the Fenrir is pretty good. I think people really don't cherish Fenrir enough. I think Fenrir is actually really strong. For a while, there's a time ago, like I want to say a year back, before like Steam Age was like really like insane. I really thought that Fenrir might like actually should start showing up more because they got that insane promo. It says Counterblast, so best that you force your opponent to call the top card of their deck over something. The reason why I thought that was good is because it's basically just like a trap card, and you just never know when it's gonna come at you. And on top of that, they can also like retire stuff on top of that. So I always thought that Fenrir had like some really good tools. And I guess it's more of like the win con finisher of the deck where it kind of starts lacking. If you don't have like Elliot package, it gets kind of wonky, but still it's really strong. Let me see if we have D. Oh, here's London D. So let's go back to D. So D looks, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired of looking at D results too. They're kind of the same. I'm not trying to be like I'm not trying to be mean in this video. I'm just it's just we're already in set 10, so like looking at these results is a little bit harder, but not to discourage the people that top. They still perform their best. They're pretty much at the very end of set 9 meta here, and thankfully for them as well, they don't have to worry about it anymore, and they got their tops on top of that. So Flagberg in here. Flagberg is good. I talked about it last week, saying that Flagberg is still a good deck. Like, I'm not saying it's like the best deck, but it's still a good contending option. And obviously, it still shows up. It's like I said, not best deck, but it shows up. Same with Youthberg. Youthberg kind of falls into this category too. It's not the best deck in the format, but it's still a good deck to take as like a third option. Ava and Jet are still like superior, but if you need a third deck like Flagberg, Youthberg, Velstra, Tecia, Minerva, they all fall into this category. Well, I have been noticing Minerva's been topping more recently. I think people have been dealing with the matchup better in terms of the Jet matchup, and I think that's why I've been seeing more Minerva show up, because Minerva is actually very strong. I think I don't know like how much people test or how much they worry about Jet and Ava, but Minerva's definitely like another deck to worry about when you're competing. Minerva should definitely be a deck that should be on your testing list, and if not, you should definitely add it on there because that deck can be very, very impactful when it hits you. It hits you like a truck sometimes. But obviously we have the Overlord list here, but you know, that makes a lot of sense too. Overlord's really good as well. You'll notice this is a very interesting one. It's actually a very strong combo here too. I think this is a very strong team right here. So this is Malaysia. And then again, we have the normal Jet Ava, Jet Ava, Jet Ava, Jet Ava. Crazy, I know. They really nailed it here. Like they really nailed it in this one. It's like in your face. I think we had a couple other BSFs that were kind of like this recently. I think it was last week's BSF. So yeah. And then we have Leticia, Overlord, Velstra as like our side options. So yeah, this. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. We kind of got over all these. We know what this looks like, but congrats to them regardless. And then here we have, yeah, this is basically kind of similar to what we saw over in London as well. It's pretty similar. We have the Maidens, the Overlord, the Thavas. Overlord's a little bit more unusual just because it's in premium Overlord, but still it's a good deck, you know. It doesn't really care what it faces. That's like I think the beauty of taking Kagero is that you just don't really care about meta, you just play the deck. There's a couple small things you gotta care about, but to be honest, like the meta doesn't really stop you. You just kind of do your thing, and it's pretty great. Second place, we have the Maidens, Thavas, and Chaos. Yep, whatever that is. Link Joker stuff, the Spikes, Angel Gize, and this is the Arkami. So that's interesting. Another Angel Gize is interesting. It's one of those decks where when it pops off because it has so many drive checks. And then actually all three of these, this one's the more consistent one, but these two are very much like when it pops off, it kind of goes crazy. Both of these decks, and this one's like more consistent, and then just kind of does this thing with the bind zone. And third place, we have the Reindeer, the Highlander, Maidens, and Bugs. Honestly, all very good decks. Honestly, nothing here that's too unusual. I think this one's the more underrated one out of the group we have here. Like you just see this less than the rest, but honestly all our strong decks. So yeah, good stuff there. And then we have V. Yeah, here we go again. It's just the usual Luard, Ange, Leopold, Ange, Luard, DI stuff with Shahard or Amon, whichever route you go. Leopold, Jewel Knights, Astro Poets stuff, Ange, Vanquisher, Thavas. Yeah, it's just the same. It's the same stuff as again. We pretty much had like a pretty good meta snapshot like a couple months back. It's really not going to change. I think the worst part is it's not going to change at all after this. This is basically what we're going to keep seeing. Yes, there'll be some speckled random stuff here and there, and I said this last week too. I'll say it again this week, but it doesn't change the fact that this is just how the format's going to be now. There's like some minor cards popping up here and there, like these little promos we're getting monthly, but they really don't drastically change the format enough to do anything. And even if they do, it's like a minor change here and there. It's not like drastic. It's not going to make a deck like suddenly tier 1. I mean, the only deck that we've seen kind of break through with this was Thavas, but Thavas was already basically strong. It just got an extra card to make it stronger, make you have a better win harder button. But to be honest, the deck was already pretty good to begin with. So but yeah, we're gonna see this for a while until a ban list happens or a new set comes out or something like this. Honestly, V is probably gonna be the dullest thing to look at for the next couple months because it's just gonna be this basically. I am seeing a lot more Leopolds, which is kind of wild because like we've had the same meta basically this entire time. Like ever since the pawn unrestriction happened with the deck, like we have seen the exact same decks basically top, and weirdly enough there wasn't that many Leopolds, but now we're seeing a lot of Leopolds. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. People just started talking to each other, start going, we should all just start playing Leopold. I don't really know, or if maybe people value Leopold over Thavas, because I will say during the beginning of the format people were like Thavas, especially once the hit happened. I was one of those people too. I still stand by that. I still think Thavas is one of the strongest Excel decks, but regardless, like people were really on the Thavas boat, and I guess that the non-Thavas enjoyers were like, well, I'd rather just play Leopold, and I guess that's where we're seeing that, and that's where we're seeing a lot of Leopold results. Leopold, it does have a very strong pop-off, so it does this thing. So you know, as long as you ride the right Vanguard, it's actually a very strong deck. The minute you misride, it gets a little bit tougher. But anyway, let's talk about DI real quick. So DI hasn't been showing as many results, but DI is still actually a very strong deck. Honestly, just going on mods to Shahrat's really good, or just going straight into Shahrat's really good. Whatever option you go towards, it's just an overall good deck. It just has a lot of tools, a lot of access to cool stuff. The Succubus that got added in recently just makes it better. There's just a lot of drawing you can do, you know, number of terror, all that kind of fun stuff. So Vanquisher is not as popular to be seen, but but it was actually like in the underground tier as well. It's always been good. Like this whole time it's been good. Just a little bit harder to win, especially when you have decks like Davos and Leopold right around it, and then you have like Luard and Anj as well. But the deck is still good. Like what it does, it's been good. It draws a lot of pressure. It just dies to defenses a little bit more, and it doesn't have like as strong of a win con like it used to. But I will say once they get to like that third, like once they get to like that second like grade 3 turn, you're probably dead. So yeah, overall good stuff. Yeah, it's just really nice to see. I'm glad we actually didn't have like singles or anything like that this time around. No weird stuff. So I'm glad everybody went in, and we had apparently there's a lot of showings for some of the Japanese side of stuff and the Singapore side of stuff. They had like a lot of players, which is really awesome. I don't know how EU and other parts, or where we had EU London. I don't know as well of how London was in terms of like show rate, but I'm sure it was fine. They didn't have singles, so that's always a good thing. So really exciting stuff. I'm really happy. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. Sorry if I was a little bit more brutal. I might have been a little bit more brutal on this one than I am on the other ones. On the other ones, I'm usually like, yay, woo, excited. This time a little bit more kind of drilling in on like what's been going on. I also don't do results as much, and recently I've been doing them more because I've actually been interested in the JP side of things, and because I've been looking at the JP side of things, I'm like, well, since I'm looking at the JP side of things, I might as well look at the English results too, even though I kind of already know what they're going to look like. But if I'm already going to look at them, I might as well turn on the camera, right? So that's kind of where that has been coming from. That's why we've been seeing more results, because I've been looking at them more. So, and if I'm looking at them more, I might as well share them with you. And I usually say exactly what's on my mind as I'm looking at results, so that's why you're kind of getting like what's on my mind now. But overall, very exciting stuff as always. Very big congratulations to everyone that's topping and winning and performing and taking their decks, or they're trying the janky stuff and enjoying the janky stuff. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, it's the top. So congrats to everybody. Very happy for everyone. We're about to switch metas, and I'm really excited to switch metas because I just want to see some fresh stuff. I want to see some new stuff. That's why I've been really digging into the JP side of things. It's not even like so much like the tops and exactly what's topping. It's just seeing like what kind of decks people are building, whether they're interesting or different or unique, and set 11, set 10, I don't care. I've just been enjoying looking at decks and what people are building, because I think building in D is actually like really fun. But that's just me, my personal perspective. I think building D is fun. I think some decks are cookie cutter, and there's some decks that really need to think about how you want to build it, and then there's like more ways to tech, and I just love it. I love it so much. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Let me know below if you're a winner, if you were in these results or not. Just tell me how your experience was, or how you felt about the results overall. If you didn't compete or just have been watching online, whatever it is. But yeah, let me know. Peace out, guys. That's Svenania. See you guys in a future video. Bye.